Unajua huwezi compare venye mwalimu anachapa mtoto na venye mzazi anachapa mtoto. Mzazi ako a bit lenient. And an anonymous team is your daddy. Come on, say it with me. Anonymous team is who? Anonymous team is your daddy. And your daddy is going to handle you with care. Your daddy atakuchapa tu lakini si sana. Daddy atakuspank tu.
There's a dude who calls himself Anonymous Team.
I am Anonymous Team.
So Anonymous Team always says shit I find to be hilarious.
I'm just a critic, man. Yes sir, niaje watu wangu, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Anonymous Team. And I am not a happy man. I am a man with a broken heart. And this is the reason. If most of you guys don't know, I am a big boxing fan. And I have a few favorite boxers, you know, Floyd Mayweather being the GOAT, the greatest of all time, right? And, you know, once Floyd Mayweather stepped off boxing, or rather once Floyd Mayweather retired from boxing, you know, I had to like pick another favorite fighter, you know. You know, the heavyweight boxing has not been bad. You know, we have the Tyson Furies. I like Tyson Fury, but not that much. Although I really must admit I appreciate his boxing style. A big man like that, the way he's so fat, you know, with all those love handles, and the man can move the way he moves, you know, stick it with the jab, you know, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, like Muhammad Ali used to do. You know, with his weight, with his height and his weight, it's really, really impressive. And I do like his boxing style. But in all honesty, deep down I liked Anthony Joshua, because at the beginning of his boxing career, he resembled Mike Tyson a lot. I liked his hunger, his you know, his attitude, especially that fight, the first fight between him and Dillian White. We're going to be talking about it in a while, but in the first fight you could tell him sticking out his tongue and just hunting Dillian White. It's just the way you'd see a lion hunting a deer. Oh man, Anthony Joshua was a beast back in the days, until he started becoming this Mr. Nice Guy and all that BS, up until he got his ass beat by Usyk. But that is it is what it is. Anyway, that's not the that was just a backdrop of my main story, the reason as to why I'm sad. So I've always liked Errol Spence, man. Errol Spence is dope, man. I like the guy. His boxing style is unorthodox. Okay, his stand is southpaw, yeah, but his style is just, his fighting style in general is just unorthodox. And there was just something unique about him, and I always knew at the back of my mind that this was the guy to beat Terence Crawford if the time came, right? But man, did things go beyond my expectations last weekend but one. So, you know, it was this big fight that had been announced. Finally, the great Errol Spence was finally going to meet Terence Crawford, and I knew he was going to win. I was rooting for him. I am such a big boxing fan that I've never been wrong about my predictions when it came to two big fighters fighting, you know. But on this one, even when Tyson Fury was meeting Deontay Wilder for the first time, I knew at the back of my mind that Tyson Fury would win. And I actually believe he won on points. But of course, as you all know, the fight went out as a draw. But if you're a true boxing fan, you know that Tyson Fury won that first fight, right? Of course, he ended up winning the second fight and the third fight, blah, 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 you know. But now let's get back to Errol, man. It broke my heart. I did not watch the fight live, so that Sunday morning I wake up, I rush to Twitter on trending. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see Errol Spence trending there for the right reasons. But damn, the first thing I see on my Twitter page is Crawford, and I knew, fuck it, man, hell. I knew that Errol Spence had lost, man. I was heartbroken, and the fight, him losing the fight itself is not what really broke my heart. Is when I watched the highlight. To be honest, I haven't watched those highlights fully because I just saw a few snippets. Man, I can put it in the words of one Twitter, or not one Twitter, but one TikTok user put it, is like, man, when I saw Terence Crawford, when I saw Errol Spence fall down, it crushed my heart. It finally dawned on me, he is human, the great Errol Spence. Those statements alone summarize what I've been feeling. And when I just saw that first highlight, the way he got dropped, man, Errol Spence got his ass whooped. This is the great Errol Spence, man. Oh man, even as I'm speaking about it, it still breaks my heart. Like, it was a one-sided fight. I haven't watched the highlights fully, but I just saw the few highlights and I couldn't take more, man. I would have been able to handle it if like he lost on points, and even if he had gotten knocked out, but not to the extent of him losing, like, to such a great extent. Manny Pacquiao has lost before. Manny Pacquiao has lost before, and he was knocked out, but he wasn't losing that fight. He was winning the fight. So, anything can happen in boxing, right? But Errol Spence was losing. Like, oh man, his face after that fight, he was just swollen up. It really broke my heart. And man, I don't know, man. I'm never going to watch that fight, man. I'm rooting for him. I've heard people say that after his car crash, he never really went back to being the fighter that he truly was. But even so, remember, after that car crash, it took him a year out, but he came back and he fought people like Ryan Garcia. I think and Ryan Garcia is a beast, don't get it wrong. And Errol Spence beat Ryan Garcia after the accident. So the fight between him and Manny Pacquiao did not materialize in the long run. But for him to come out of life-threatening car crash and beating someone like Danny Garcia, sorry, and him coming back to beat Danny Garcia, it speaks volume to the person he is. It just really breaks my heart that he lost to Crawford. And I know Crawford is a dope fighter, but I don't like Crawford, man. I just don't. Kuna wale watu tu unaangalianga and damu yako inakataana nao. So anyway, so that simply summarizes why I'm sad. I was sad when Adesanya lost to Pereira, but you see, even with Adesanya losing to Pereira, Adesanya was winning the fight all the way up to the 5th round. And that's when, and I still believe that the referee stopped that fight early. Adesanya would have still went on to he was playing possum, and I know he would have ended up winning that fight. But it is what it is. He got it back on the rematch. So yeah, that hurt me too, but it didn't hurt me to the extent at which the Errol Spence loss hurt me, man. Oh man, shit. I don't know if Errol will ever recover from that loss, but it is what it is. Let's see what his boxing career, holds for him in the future. So that explains why I'm sad. But kidogo too, I'm recuperating from that. What else do we have to talk about this coming weekend? Okay, before we go to the coming weekend, let's talk about hii fight ya Jake Paul and Nate Diaz. First of all, okay, it was so evident. We all knew that Nate Diaz was going to lose. Okay, these guys are great MMA fighters, but remember when the rules are only specific into one fighting discipline, they or rather, boxing is really never the strong point of these MMA fighters. You know, an MMA fighter in a street fight, an MMA fighter will probably kill you, right? Sometimes I beg to differ. If in a street fight it was an MMA fighter and a boxer, it's arguable, because you can imagine with the speed of a boxer, if a boxer manages to like hit the MMA fighter on the chin and knocks them out, game over, right? But remember, MMA has so many what do you call it? An MMA fighter has so many options. He can hold this guy, he can throw you down, he can choke you. Oh man, there's just a variety of stuff. But anyway, I was really, even though Nate Diaz lost, I was really impressed with his performance. Because he's really not known for being a stand-up guy. Even in the MMA fights, even in the UFC fights, he is really not known for being a striker, right? But he held his own up until the 10th round. Come on, man. You have to give it up for him, right? And he also made a lot of money. I actually hear that the money that he's actually making from that Jake Paul boxing fight alone supersedes, or rather is almost equal to the total amount he has made over his UFC career. Can you imagine? So you can, oh man, you can just imagine that UFC fighters, the current draw when it comes to combat sports, are making peanuts compared to boxers. How, bana? You know, when I saw Francis Ngannou championing for that cause, MMA fighters need to be paid more, blah blah blah. You know, I didn't think that that the gap between the pay was so big, bana. Oh man. Yeah, like I was saying, it never dawned on me that the pay gap for of UFC fighters versus boxing fighters was so big, and that just explains the reason as to why these great MMA legends are actually signing up to fight YouTubers like Jake Paul, because it's actually putting money in their pockets, right? Man, anyway, it is. Oh, okay. The other thing we have to talk about, right? Francis Ngannou beat all odds, against all odds, man. This guy has finally signed a deal to box Tyson Fury, arguably the best boxer in this should we say lifetime? No, in this you know, okay, arguably one of the best boxers of all time, right? Francis Ngannou finally has inked down the deal to fight Tyson Fury. This is big. Tyson Fury is not one of those YouTube boxers. Tyson Fury is the lineal world champion, world boxing champion. Tyson Fury is the real deal. Tyson Fury is the GOAT. Ngannou is going to fight Tyson Fury. Man, there's just something special about Ngannou. You know, if you've been following Ngannou's story from being a border rider in Cameroon, to being an immigrant in France, to picking up boxing, then converting to MMA, going all the way to the US, getting signed to the UFC, you know, a striker, a person who had no proper background in wrestling, ending up obliterating Stipe Miocic, the Stipe Miocic, in their second fight. He fucking wrestled Stipe, you guys. Do you really understand what that means? Francis Ngannou, a person who has no background in wrestling whatsoever, trained with, I think during that fight he trained with Kamaru Usman. And he ended up wrestling Stipe. Like, Stipe has a deep-rooted background in wrestling. Stipe beat this guy. Anitangwa nani? Oh man, why am I forgetting his name? Oh man, nani? This goat who had a beef with John Jones. Nani? Oh man. Okay, let me quickly Google his name, bana. We don't want to make assumptions on this show, bana. Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier, Daniel Cormier, whichever name you want to call him. Stipe beat Daniel 2 times. Daniel, I think, is the wrestling. I think Daniel is the NC double something wrestling champion, Olympic champion and shit like that. Huh? Let's NCAA. I think he's an NCAA champion. Exactly. Yeah, Daniel Cormier is an NCAA champion. Stipe Miocic beat that guy twice. Like, this just goes to prove how Stipe's wrestling game is. And Ngannou, someone who had no background in wrestling whatsoever, he comes and he wrestles Stipe and he wins. He comes and he wrestles this his former partner, Cyril Gane, and he wins. Okay, Cyril Gane knows nothing about. Like, everybody writes down Francis Ngannou until until he proves you wrong. You know what? Let's be honest, right? Tyson Fury is unbeatable. Tyson Fury is unbeatable. The guy is unbeaten, for God's sake. And here is Francis Ngannou coming from MMA. They are not really known for, being so good at striking. Come on, even if you put someone, any MMA fighter in the boxing ring with a C-class level boxer, they'll still get their ass beat, if, the rules are taken away and they're only sticking to boxing. But then again, this is Francis Ngannou. Like, he's known to beat odds. I wouldn't be surprised if Ngannou drew to Tyson Fury. I'm saying drew because, like, the chances of him winning against Tyson Fury are slim to none. But anyway, this is boxing and this is fighting and anything can happen. But still, this is Ngannou. He has that, wow factor. He has that God factor in him, bana. In the famous words of Morgan Housel, luck and risk are siblings. And they are the entities that show everything that happens in this life is guided by an external force. Yeah, right? An external force, not just by hard work. I've rephrased, but that's along the lines. Everything that happens, luck and risk, is what shows that everything that happens in this life is guided by by other forces other than hard work and dedication alone. For me, that other force is God. So yes, Ngannou has that God factor, bana. Shit. This is going to be interesting to watch. When it comes to boxing, I'm a betting man, and I never lose on my bets. But hey, okay, I have been wrong before if we are going with the Errol Spence Crawford fight. So for the Tyson Fury and the Ngannou fight, I'm not going to risk it, man. I'm just happy for Ngannou. I'm really, really happy for Ngannou. For, you can imagine, like, Ngannou Ganu is going to make a lot of money. That goes back to the subject of money of MMA fighters versus boxers. Oh man, wow. Anyway, tuendelee bana. So this Saturday, August 12th, nani AJ is going to be meeting Dillian White for the second time. I think AJ is going to beat Dillian White again. That goes without saying. But the question is, does AJ still have that hunger? You know, we had anticipated the AJ versus Tyson Fury so much up until AJ went and got humiliated, completely obliterated by Usyk. And I just knew that AJ stands no chance against Fury. Okay, AJ stands a better chance against Fury than Deontay Wilder did, because we all know that Deontay Wilder was really never like a boxer. But man, that guy, when that right hand meets men's faces, he sends them to a whole other dimension. But you know, AJ is more of a boxer than Deontay. If they should ever meet with Fury, he'd probably last more rounds. But if he lost to Usyk, come on, just imagine what Fury would do to him. So the fight we need to watch is Usyk versus Fury. But still, Fury beats Usyk, man. Fury is just on a different level than these other fighters. Fury should have been born, around the time Kina Mike Tyson were born. You know, then he would have been competing with boxers his level, man. Otherwise, Sai is just at the top of the mountain, right? So yeah, so I think AJ is going to win against Dillian White this coming Saturday. The question is, does AJ still have that hunger? You know, there's still a chance that Dillian White could win though, because he still has that beef against AJ. I don't know for what reason. And Dillian White throws haymakers, so by any bad luck those haymakers land on your head, it's game over. But all in all, I see it going Anthony Joshua's way. Enough about boxing, enough about international sports and all. So let's bring it back to Kenya. So if you've watched my recent video, or rather my last video, you actually saw that I got the opportunity to interview the one and only Tumbili. And my sentiments about that interview, and my sentiments about Tumbili as an individual, I can honestly say, okay, you cannot judge someone from the first meet, but if we were to go by that, I can honestly say that Tumbili is a really good and humble dude. Really cool dude. He was nice to me and my friends. He was really, and he wasn't acting like a celebrity. Alikuwa tu anabehave tu kama boys, like how unaweza patana tu na boys wako alafu mbonge, like alafu tu hiyo kitu tu ikam up, like the conversation was not forced. It was just so it was flawless, manze. Iliingiana tu. The guy is a really cool dude. I've interacted with him after the interview 1 or 2 times. Man's a really good dude, bana. Based on what I saw, and I wish him nothing but the best. And that interview actually got me to thinking. I've been speaking, if you all know, if you've been a day one on this channel, you've known that I rarely mince my words when it comes to these celebrities. Been really speaking a lot of trash concerning why Kwanza. But having met Tumbili, having interviewed him, having had an interaction with him, I felt like, some of these celebrities act a certain way for the cameras, right? But behind the cameras, they are totally different person. And it got me to thinking I shouldn't really be so quick to criticize their work and talk trash about them without necessarily having to know them as individuals, right? And I've been a very big critic of YY's Dinga Wife show. But I came to realize, I myself am a writer, and I'm a dope writer for that matter. And I came to realize, I've been comparing Dingaya Wife to Anas Toto, which is wrong, right? You shouldn't compare one artist's work to another artist's work. There are levels. There are the time and effort one artist would take to perfect his craft cannot be compared to the time and effort another artist takes to perfect their craft. The other thing is that these artists are actually beginning. It's when we are seeing their works. They are not seasoned writers like Kina Abel Mutua. We know that Kina Abel Mutua and Kina Dennis Mugo started writing scripts enzi za Kina Mother-in-Law. If you were watching the credits for Mother-in-Law, you'd see someone like Abel Mutua was writing for Mother-in-Law. Then you'd see Abel Mutua would write for Tahidi High at times. They had a show called Hapa Kule. So these people like Abel Mutua have that experience, right? And Kina YY are actually starting right now. So yes, as we criticize their work, it's also good to be a little bit considerate. And I've decided to be considerate. So far, the best episode that I've seen from Dingaya Wife is episode 5. That episode was just dope, right? And I would say to YY pia, it's not bad kutafuta usaidizi. The trajectory of your career is pegged around having help. The trajectory of anybody's career is pegged behind help. There are so many young people out here who can watch your show and just give it a new life altogether. And, he should be open for writers as well, other writers as well. The industry is so big and it can accommodate everyone. You cannot sleep on Kenyan content. You cannot sleep on Kenyan film. If you go to Showmax, you can just see how great Kenyan creators are bana. There are shows like hata nimesahau hiyo show jina yake. Kuna hii show imekuja juzi Showmax, juu inaitwaje, ni ya Madingo and all that shit. That show is good. It's not bad, Kenyan artists are trying bana. And I'll be reviewing some of these Kenyan films and Kenyan shows, and I'm okay. Hawa saa zingine pia wanakachingi feelings. Unapata umecriticize mse, content yake mse ndo asha catch feelings, ashaenda kukublock. Okay, sawa, granted. But since tumeona tuna hurt watu feelings na si fiti, mental health awareness and all that shit, we're going to be criticizing your work, but tutakuwa a little bit lenient on you guys, right? Ni kama unajua uwezi compare venye mwalimu anachapa mtoto na venye mzazi anachapa mtoto. Mzazi ako a bit lenient, and Anonymous team is your daddy. Come on, say it with me. Anonymous team is who? Anonymous team is your daddy, and your daddy is going to handle you with care. Your daddy atakuchapa tu lakini si sana. Daddy atakuspank tu. So that is to sum up the Tumbili interview. It was a really, really great interview. I loved it. Hopefully with time we're going to have a properly structured interview with Tumbili. I'd love to have a sit down with Tumbili again and ask him proper questions. Si hizi maswali mnaonanga tu our online media wakienda kuuliza wasanii maswali za ufala. Tunataka kujua history ya kijana, amesomea wapi, family history yake iko aje. I saw his interview with Ikonini, and Ikonini are really, really great interviewers, manze. They ask those questions that you really want to hear, those questions that you really, really want to know about an artist. Ikonini are really, really good. But with the Tumbili interview, I feel like I don't know. I feel like either Tumbili was not comfortable enough to... Okay, Tumbili shared a lot, actually. He did share a lot. But how can I put it? Let's see. Okay, the way Iko Nini guys interview guests is not the same way Lynn Ngugi interviews guests. Lynn Ngugi is another dope interviewer bana. Lynn Ngugi atakaa chini na guest, and that interview will feel like mgeni ameenda kutembelea mtu kwa nyumba yake, na ni kama wamekuwa wakijuana for such a long time and they are just catching up. Now that's Lynn Ngugi for you. And with Iko Nini, it's like you've gone to a therapist, and the therapist has made you so comfortable that you begin to open up. These guys are so unique, and I give credit where credit is due. Lynn Ngugi is so unique in her own way, and Iko Nini is also very unique in their own way. And as Anonymous team, if I get an opportunity to sit down with a guest, I want to cut across. You get? I can make you feel like I'm your therapist, and I can make you feel like I'm your uncle who hatujabonga sana for a while, na sasa umekam na nimeitisha kanyama choma na tunapiga story juu ya sembe na bia. You get? Yeah, man. So hopefully I get another with time, not in the nearest future, but with time, I'm going to link up with Tumbili again. We have a properly structured interview, but also stay in tuned for other interviews as well. As we end the show, so what have I been up to? So over the weekend, I got the opportunity to go to a certain camp along uko Kajiado, just before Tinga. If you know Tinga, it's along the Magadi Road, and I think about 37 kilometers from Konabaridi, and it was just marvelous and dope experience. I'll be sharing you a video of that trip. Is going to be posted by one of my friends, Melo the Nomad. He has his channel. You can go like his channel, share and subscribe. He has awesome content right there. So once he puts it up, I'm going to react on it, or rather review on it. We had such an amazing time. We got the opportunity to okay man, unajua huko ndo watu masponyo hupeleka. I'm not going to mention the name of the camp because they haven't paid me to do product placement for them, but all I can say naweza sema huko ndo masponyo hupeleka mampango zao za kando. I got to see gay people live. Me, I've never seen gay people live. It was funny, man. A very funny experience, and we were, can I say shocked? Yeah, man. Anyway, it is what it is. People have, their zinitangwa aje, choices and stuff. You do you, live your life, blah blah blah, yada yada. God is the judge of all of us. I have nothing much to say, watu wangu. Thank you so much for watching this show. Stay tuned for more.